What's up, everyone? Mr. YouTube Gamer. Today we're playing Star Wars Battlefront 2 5 years later. That's right, it has been 5 years since this game came out on November 17th, 2017. Oh my god, I remember when this game was released, the shitstorm that happened following the game's launch, and all of the loot boxes and the shit that was going on where you had to spend a lot of money. I think that one guy that made that Reddit post said that he spent $90 just to get Darth Vader, to unlock Darth Vader as a character, because it literally took thousands upon thousands of hours just to unlock one character in the game without putting more real money into it. And it was so ridiculous. It was so much of a grind, and they did that on purpose so that you would spend that extra money to unlock these heroes. They basically treated a full-price $60 game as it was a free-to-play game, and you even had free-to-play games back then at the time, like Paladins, that had a lot better progression and was a lot less of a cash grab than this game. And the comment that EA rep left in response to the controversy is still the most downvoted comment in all of Reddit history, as it deserves. But you know what? Credit where credit's due. They did turn it around, and they made it a much better game than it was at launch. Really, like, the core gameplay and the map design and all that, like, the core foundation of the game was great. But it was really just the monetization policies that brought the game down so much. Once they reversed those policies, and it didn't take very long for them to do that, the game got so much better as a result. And honestly, I think it is the second greatest game in the Battlefront series, and that's even if you include the original games from Pandemic Games. And I was around back then, so it's not even like, oh, I'm one of those new guys that just played Battlefront when EA took over, and I'm just saying that it's great because I grew up with the OG Battlefront. Battlefront 1 2004 was the first FPS game I ever played, and that will still be the best in the Battlefront series, just because the maps were just on a whole nother level, in my opinion, and it was just an amazing game. But this game, honestly, I'd say is number 2. Then I'd put the original Battlefront 2 at number 3. So yes, I think this Battlefront 2 is better than the other Battlefront 2. And then number 4 would be Battlefront 1 2015, even though that game is also pretty good in its own right. But just the variety of game modes that you had in this Battlefront game, and all of the different eras, the 3 eras of Star Wars, and it was such an immersive experience because just the overall atmosphere, they fucking nailed it with this game. Absolutely. Oh my god. I'm still blown away by this game 5 years later. It still feels like a game that would be released in the modern age. And that's, a lot of it is because I'm playing on PC, so I'm running the game 1440p, 120 FPS. Like, it's a game that would easily look amazing on the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. Like, it definitely holds up very well 5 years later. The game progression is not that grindy at all. It still kind of is in a way. Like, if you're a new player, you're gonna get fucked by the people who've been around for a while just because of those the power-ups with the cards that you have with those heroes, where you can pretty much increase the power of the heroes in the game, or the villains. And you have all these different, and also even the regular classes, you can unlock upgrades, so that if you're going against, like, if you just started playing now and you're going against someone that has all those fully leveled up shit, yeah, you're getting fucked just based off of that. Even if they're not necessarily, like, if it was a level playing field, you might win the gunfight, but because they have that much of an advantage, like, it's going to be pretty tough coming in as a new player. So it will take time to get in the groove and to unlock the stuff to, be competitive in the game. But it's definitely a lot better than it was, where it was pretty much pay to win. It's not that way at all anymore. So it's fine, having progression in the multiplayer game is not a bad thing. But I'm sure a big reason why you guys clicked on the video is you're curious as to how the player base is doing in 2022 going into 2023, because it has been 5 years. It's been a pretty long time, and especially with the PC version, I'm sure you guys have heard about the hacking problem that has been going on in recent years, where people are invincible. You can't kill them no matter what, and it pretty much has become unplayable, except it's actually been fixed. in recent months, it actually has been fixed, so that hacking problem is no longer there on PC, and it never really was a thing on PlayStation and Xbox. But yeah, it's completely playable on all platforms, including PC, and you have a really strong player base on every platform and every game mode. So when you're thinking about space battles, the large-scale game modes like Capital Supremacy and all those modes, and even the smaller style ones like Team Deathmatch and Heroes versus Villains, of course. I think that's by far the most popular one because people love playing as heroes and villains and kind of going at it. It's definitely, oh my god, it was executed so much better than it was. I thought it was amazing back in the day in Battlefront 2 2005, but oh my god, it's just on a whole nother level with Battlefront 2 2017. So much fun with heroes versus villains, and it's great because like when you're playing the regular game modes, unlocking the heroes and villains kind of it's kind of a game of luck, because even if you have enough credits to use the heroes, everyone's instantly, as soon as they have it, like people are waiting to respawn for there to be, like, for one of the heroes and villains to die so that they can become a hero or a villain, because the way it works is that you unlock credits, like the better you do in the game and the more kills you get, and eventually you can use those credits to unlock either special characters, special soldiers in the game, like to use during the match. This is completely in the match, like that you earn these credits, and then you could, of course, the big thing is playing as a hero and a villain, but you don't really get enough of an opportunity to do it in these large game modes. But in Heroes vs. Villains, everyone can be that, so it's really cool. And yeah, it's such a great game. Even still, 5 years later, it's definitely a game that got better over time, and honestly had not yet reached its full potential. People were so pissed off, I remember, back in, I think it was early 2020, when it was announced that, yeah, Battlefront 2 is no longer going to be supported in order to focus on Battlefield 2042. And we all know how that turned out. Yeah, what a shame. And we'll be talking about Battlefield 2042 in a couple of days, because the 1 year anniversary is actually coming in 2 days on November 19th. But yeah, really so much missed potential with Battlefront 2, but I was hoping a lot of that would kind of go into a sequel. Still haven't heard word on whether or not we're getting Battlefront 3. Maybe they're going to wait for the new movies that are going to supposedly come out in the future. Supposedly we're going to get Old Republic movies, so we'd have another era of Star Wars. So that makes sense to wait until then to get that. And honestly, yeah, I hope that EA and DICE keep the series going, because they have done a good job. Not initially, but over time they left it in a good place. So I do hope that we get a Battlefront 3 at some point. But because we haven't, Battlefront 2 still has a lot of players. Even Battlefront 1 has a lot of players, the 2015 one. So, yeah, I would definitely go with this game. I would definitely recommend it in 2022, 5 years later, completely. Oh my god. It's one of those games that I never uninstall. Never. I will never uninstall this game, ever. Even, 10 years from now, 10 years from now I'll probably have a new PC, because at some point you can't just keep upgrading it. It pretty much becomes a new PC at that point. I have to change my power supply and I have to do all these things. I might as well start from scratch. So yeah, no, but you guys know what I mean. I'm never gonna get rid of this game. It's always gonna be installed in my hard drive, in my SSD, whatever, because it's that good. It's one of those games that I always every now and then pop in and get a game or two going, and it's great. Absolutely. Considering the horrible state of the Halo series, of the Battlefield series, and Call of Duty series, yeah, it's always good coming back to Battlefront. So those are my overall thoughts on the game 5 years later. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section down below. Did you love Battlefront 2 back in the day, and do you still play it? As always, thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.